Allow these children to be people, because they are humans before they're your niece. They're humans before they're your nephews. They're humans before they're your sons, your daughters. They're humans before they're your grandchildren. They are humans first.
When they say she get it from her mama, I'ma say you fuck her right. Body rude is unpolite. Done be in a humble life. Tell me, is you down? Cause I'm trying to go up tonight. Holding hoochies left and right. I just wanna live in a fantasy.
Okay, guys. I'm in the Zen room at my job. It is like so pretty in here. While I was in the shower, before I came here, of course, but while I was in the shower, I was thinking about something that I was like, okay, I really need to share this with people, right? So, lately I've been unpacking my abuse, or not my abuse, the abuse that I experienced as a kid and a teenager and in my early 20s. And I'm unpacking it in a way where I'm trying to figure out why I behave the way I do and how the abuse has impacted the way I behave. And what I've noticed is sometimes I have a hard time saying no and or speaking up for myself. And a lot of it is because when I was a kid, I had an attitude girl, right? Like I was a eye roll, I was a don't boom boom. Like, and the thing is that if I was not that way, I would have been trampled on even more than I was. My mom has admitted to bullying me as a kid, right? And if I was not somebody who spoke up or who had some type of morality, you know what I mean? I had this thing in me that I don't know where it came from, but I knew that there were certain actions that the adults in my life, I knew that there were things that they were doing. I knew that those things weren't right. Like I said, I don't know how I came up with it. I just did, right? So if I did not have that, I would have been trampled on, like I said, even more than I already was. And because I had that attitude, because I spoke up, not all the time, yeah, but because I had spoke up, I would get slapped in the face, punched in the face. I would get slapped in the face. I would get punched in the face. I would be called out of my name by the people who were supposed to protect me. And I want to say this. If you guys have children or just children in your life, encourage them to just be a little bad or what society considers bad. Because society considers kids bad when they just say something back. Oh, I need to make sure that I was recording. But society considers a child bad if they just say, no, I don't want to do this. Isn't that crazy? Society teaches adults to possess their kids, not to, and to possess children. Whether the child belongs to you or not, you're supposed to take their, I was going to say dignity, but that too. You're supposed to take away everything that makes them a human and control them. So they can't not like something. They can't be against something. And what that does is it raises a person who cannot stand up for themselves. So they're going into the workforce and they're just accepting any kind of behavior. It's crazy how, like, I will say no to something, like, I'm not doing this, right? And then I'll hear someone say, we can say no? What do you mean we can say no? Yes, you can say no. You don't have to be agreeable. But society wants everybody to be agreeable. Society wants everybody to just fall in line. and they teach parents to force their children to just fall in line. If I say to do something, I'm going to need you to do it. I remember there was a time, I'm not trying to ever villainize my mother, but however, if your actions make you a villain, then baby, I don't know. You know, and I also think that I also think people have good and bad qualities. So I don't see an action and be like, that's a bad person. I actually do, but I have a way of looking at my mother in both ways, right? Because that's my mom. There was a time where we're at my brother's football game and she has a dress on. Me and my siblings and my mom were walking to the field, and my mom sees a player's dad. She sees the dad and she runs up to him. She has a dress on, by the way. She runs up to him and hugs him and allows him to pick her up. And she wraps her legs around him. And by the way, he's married. Don't know their arrangement. According to her, the arrangement was a little like, you know, we want to fuck you, you know what I'm saying? But at that time, I'm 13, 14 years old. So when I see my mom do that, I was like, what? Me and my siblings are real young at this time. If I'm 13, the youngest is 7, 6, 7, my sister. So I was like, that's weird. I was like, what's going on here? And my mom saw all of our face, and you know, so we get in the car and my mom was like, was that weird that I did that? And my sister goes, yeah, mom, that was real weird. Like, I don't know. And my sister's, like I said, like 6, 7 at this time. And my sister was like, yeah, mom, that was real weird. Like, and I was like, yeah, mom, that's a little. And she just reaches over. She's driving, by the way. She reaches over. Pow, pow. Punches me in the face multiple times. And I was like, what the? And my brother reaches over to try to get her to stop. She pulls over. I get out the car. And I remember a couple hours later, I'm trying to lay down because my head hurts. And I was like, man, fuck this. And I just like leave the house and I walk to my friend's house. Cause I'm like, I can't believe what this lady did. And I was telling my friend, like, my head hurts and stuff. And my mom follows me and whatever, and she's crying, you know, and that's neither here nor there. But I remember thinking, like, you just can't say anything that is against what she believes or makes her question herself. And I have noticed that a lot of parents are that way. I've noticed that a lot of adults are that way with children. If they don't behave the way the adult feels they need to behave, the adult will lash out. And like I said, that raises a person that is always trying to be agreeable, even if it's harmful to them. And I have a niece that's also a Leo, and she has an attitude, and I love every moment of it. I'm like, no, she didn't just say that. My brother was talking to her, and she talking about some, was I talking to you? She's like 9 years old. Is that respectful? No. And that's where that needs to be nipped in the bud. Hey, that's not respectful. To say that to an adult or another person, your age, it doesn't matter. You just don't say that to somebody. It's better to be like, hey, can you not be in in this conversation? Because I'm trying to talk to somebody else. Because she was talking to me and my brother butts into the conversation. You know, there's a better way to say those things. However, I like that she stood up for herself. She was saying, I wasn't talking to you. She was very clear, I wasn't talking to you. Oh, I have to get back to my desk. I just want to say this. So let's just say that I started hitting her because she said that to my brother, or my brother started hitting her because she said whatever. Let's just say that happened. She's going to remember that she cannot stand up for herself, that she cannot have an A and B conversation when she wants to have an A, B conversation. Does her language need to be tweaked? Yes. And it's our responsibility as adults to help her out with that. However, she deserves to have an A and B conversation if that's what she wants to have. And so I say all of that to say this. Allow these children to be people, because they are humans before they're your niece. They're humans before they're your nephews. They're humans before they're your sons, your daughters. They're humans before they're your grandchildren. They are humans first, and they deserve to say no. Now let me get back to work.